$120,000 gone, not stolen, not misplaced, lost, all because this group did not fill their hotel room block. Let's chat about it. And here's the wild part. The hotel released their rooms, doubled the price, and then sold the rooms, and then still wanted the group to pay for the unfilled rooms inside of the block. Let's talk about how this happens, and let's make sure that this never happens to you. So I came across this event post that from this event organizer that is planning a larger event that is actually happening this weekend. For the first time ever, they're being hit with $120,000 in attrition charges because their attendees didn't book enough rooms inside of the sleeping room block. Now, the sleeping room block is the group rate, so it's usually a special hotel rate that is lower than any rate that they can find on the internet. And you get credit towards that when they book with your special rated room. It's like an incentive to host the event at the hotel. Now, this group, they did everything they knew to. They did pre-audits, they did follow-up emails to get more people to join the room block. And they still didn't meet their numbers. So here's what's actually worse than that. So the hotel actually released the unbooked rooms months before the event even started, and then they doubled the room rate. So it went from like $249 to over $500 a night that they sold to anybody who could walk in. And then the hotel turned around and said, oh, no, you owe us for the unfulfilled rooms in your attrition clause because you didn't meet your sleeping room minimum. Now, this event organizer actually contacted the Convention Bureau, which is called CVB, and they're in all the cities, asking for help. You're like, please help us get out of this. Help us get it reduced at least. And the CVB was like, no, my hands are tied. I'm out. So really, the system is not set up to support the event organizers, the event planners. It's really there to protect the hotels. And knowing that is half of the battle when you enter in contract negotiations with hotel properties for conferences. So this is why I will not quit saying doubling down. You need to know your contracts, especially your attrition clause and force majeure clause inside of hotel contracts. And you also should probably have a lawyer review them. Attrition is the silent killer of profit. Because it sounds like a really good deal. Like, you're responsible for 80% of the rooms that you think that you're gonna book. But what most people don't realize is that if people book not using your link, not using your code, through a third-party site like Expedia or Booking.com, or people could just stay at an Airbnb and not stay at the host property. All of those things are an option, but all of those mean that you don't get credit for those rooms inside of your block. Like, you don't get credit for them. So here are 4 things to do to protect yourself. The first one is negotiate a sliding scale for attrition. If you pick up 70% of your room block, you shouldn't be charged 30% for the unused rooms. So if your attrition is 80% and you pick up 70%, you should only need or be expected to pay that 10% difference, not for the full 100% of the room block. You also need to add resale language. If the hotel releases the rooms and then ends up selling them, you shouldn't also have to pay for the exact same rooms. This option alone would have saved this event organizer the entire $120,000. And then number 3 is set a smart release date. So usually I say the cutoff date is right around 21 days before the event. When you're setting a release date that's more than that, then anybody who's a last minute decision maker won't be able to join the group rate. And then the last tip is to track pickup reports weekly. And you really want to start this 45 days out because you want to continuously do sleeping room audits just to make sure that you have everyone who's registered on the sleeping room list. And if they're not, you have an opportunity to follow up with them to make sure that they're either getting a room or they're not getting a room and figure out where you are with your expected numbers. And these 4 tips are literally the difference between working with a professional planner and people who are just winging it. And I literally see this all the time. Brilliant leaders and coaches and small companies are planning their own events and figuring out their own contracts, and they don't know what they don't know. So they spend months creating these incredible experiences, and then one contract detail completely wipes out their entire budget or their entire profit. And that's why I step in to support businesses with retreats and conferences, because I know this kind of stuff happens. And it's not because I want for them to have like a beautiful aesthetic event. I want them to have a beautiful aesthetic, profitable event and protect them from things like this. So if you're planning your next company retreat, off-site, conference, anything like that, pop over on Instagram, slide into my DMs, let's chat so you're not the one writing a $120,000 check, because I don't want this to happen to you.